I remember the day you told me that you work for the CIA. Vividly. Anyway, continue, please.
So anyways,
Aren't you glad you're here to support today? Just to support the podcast?
So you delete the CIA
So you
request.
deleted a CIA
invite.
of
course.
I deleted
Fuck
it.
that shit.
And,
FBI, CIA, go fuck yourself.
And I thought
I'm dancing tonight.
and I was like, and I'm thinking like my whole life, I might have made straight A's once. And that was my sophomore year when I was living in Tennessee, and I had to beg my algebra 2 teacher to say, hey,
So
92 is an A, I need one more point, you know?
Who do you need to bang? Your physical teacher?
Well,
teacher?
I didn't bang her, but I had to beg her for that one extra point so I could have the A, you know? But just to say, I struggled in school, you know? So 3 months later, I'm driving home from, the gazebo got me the role of Sonny in Grease the Musical.
You love that word,
So-
don't you? I don't think he knows what that is. What is a gazebo? Can you explain to me?
Gazebo?
Yeah. What is it?
It's not gazebra, right?
No,
It's
that's
not,
not
there is nothing
one is
about
a word
zebra.
and
like
one is
gazebo.
not.
Gazebo. Isn't gazebo the one that you go on vacation and there is gazebo next to the pool? Gazebo.
You're not far off. I mean,
That's a cabana.
you're thinking of cabana.
Yeah, I'm
but
thinking about cabana,
It is
right?
like a little roofed little
Right.
thing. Anyway, it
But,
doesn't.
but
Anyway.
I'm thinking about the gazebra, like zebra. Zebra. No?
One is closer than the other. Let's leave it at that.
Well, then fucking Americans tell me what is gazebra.
No, your way's funnier.
So anyways, I'm driving home from rehearsal from Greece, and I remember a conversation I had with my mom before she passed, and she was like, I was telling her how much I wanted to travel and work. So I'm like, I remember that email, and I was like, what if this agency, like this DC recruitment group, is something for my mom? So I revisited, and they not only gave me exams online, but they visited friends of mine in Washington State and Oklahoma and Texas, went to their offices and sat down with them and asked them questions about who I am. They come for a final interview in Houston. A week later, I get a certified letter and I got the offer. I called Dad and I'm like, Dad, I don't know what this is. I didn't apply for this. Dad doesn't even flinch. He's like, look, you want to act and you will. But this is a chance to see the world. You think about this. Whatever you decide, I'll support you. I got your back. I said, cool. So I'm thinking, let me go see what they're about, travel the world, save some money, and then I go to LA.
Mm-hmm.
That turns into 3 years. In that time, the director of the agency met my father. Dad came to headquarters. He was like, it's an honor to have your son in his work. When I was living in Japan, Dad saw where I was living, you know, like he knew I was set for life. He calls me my 3rd year. He's like, look, you're putting a lot of heart into your acting. You know, you have your heart, you have the will, you have my blood. You're going to do well in LA. And I promised Mom I would take care of you. So you're going to resign from this job. I've already put in my transfer to LA. We're going together. So
Your dad?
My dad, yeah. And that was May 15th of 2010. And I'm like shivers down my body. And so I go to Boston to visit cousins and celebrate. I get a missed call from Dad. I check it later that night. It's his boss. He collapsed, sudden heart attack. And 5 days in a coma, gone. So in 3 months, I lose my father. I resign from the CIA. I go to Africa to clear my head because I was invited to the World Cup. And then I came to DC and just drove across the country with no future financial plan. And I've only been doing this. And now a movie called Happy is being made with these inspired events. And my dad's final words to me are in the screenplay. And that catapults the character to the fucking universe. And to face the big city for the first time. And now we're acquiring all these amazing partners, et cetera, et cetera. But the main point of it all is kind of like, you never know what's going to find you. And you have what you need inside of you, but sometimes you need a hero to be like, hey, I got you. Let's go get it. So when I went to LA, you would think I'd be depressed and upset. I had my hero's blessing. I had 2 mortgages. I had no money coming in, but I had his blessing. So I was Superman in my heart, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah. And so May 17th, he passed. I resigned in July, went to Africa, and I got to LA 3rd week of August of 2010.
How did they respond when you said, CIA, fuck off?
So I can't say a whole lot, but I can say there was a chief who there are books written about him. When 9/11 happened, there were 5 officers who flew into Afghanistan immediately. He was one of them. He was one of my chiefs. And he had every reason to hate my guts because when I was working there, I questioned some orders we got from Uptown.
Mm-hmm.
because I saw a few steps ahead. I saw the bigger picture. I'm like, we're a family, we're a unit.
What is it? Explain Uptown.
Just headquarters, DC.
Okay, that's okay.
So anyways, we butted heads, and my boss is in the room. My boss is looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing? You're gonna get us fired, right? So we're going back and forth, and I'm like, look, I'm looking for all the ones who haven't come in the group yet. You know, I'm looking at steps 7, 8, and 9. And then he had every reason to fucking hate me. Then this happens with my dad. I've got to go talk to him. And I'm like, this happens. And I told him exactly what happened beat by beat. And he pauses for like 20 seconds and he goes, and when they train you, like when I first got on, they told 15 of us in a room, 168,000 people applied for this job. 1,200 were reviewed and 100 were chosen. You're here for a reason. And I didn't even apply for that. So what are those odds?
Fuck.
So
Dude, giving me fucking chills.
So like all this happened to say like down the road, Dad was like, look, we're going to go get it and whatnot. But this chief, he was like, your dad was spot on. He goes, I will do everything to make sure you exit without any problems. And if you ever want to come back, you have a job waiting for you. And then his chief brought me in. He was like, hey, man, like, I really appreciate your heart and your passion, but can you go to LA for 6 months and see how it goes and come back? We need you. Yeah. And I'm like, hey, man, I got to go there with the vision that ain't jack shit going to happen in 6 years.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah. And then there's a series of exit events. And everybody was like, did something go wrong? Did something happen? You know? So it was interesting.
How old were you around this time?
I was 30.
Late 20s, early 30s?
About 30, 33.
And how many years was it you worked there?
3.
So what is that culture like? Because I remember you told me one day that you worked for the CIA, and I remember this day, and it was many years into our friendship. I didn't know this. I remember he I don't even remember it coming up. He kind of slipped it in there, but he presented it to me too. He was like, I got to share something with you one day. I was just at his house. I was at your house all the time. And he's like, look, come here. And he takes me to his room, to his closet.
You did exactly the same to me.
He opens up the mirrored door of his sliding closet door. He reaches in a box and he grabs a framed document. And he's like, just read it. He didn't even tell me. He just says, look at it. And it was like your welcome letter, or it was some kind of like acknowledgement of you joining the Central Intelligence Agency.
But you get invited to his bedroom. It always has to be drinks.
That was the focus.
That was like, I remember it was exactly the same scenario.
So I was like, I have so many fucking questions right now. I'm curious though, like, so this is like a 3-year period of your life. Like, I'm assuming you weren't allowed to tell anyone who you worked for while you were there. Right?
Yeah. What about right now?
What does your family think? And what do you tell people? Like, how do you run your life? We spend so much of our time doing shit, broadcasting it to the world because we're a media company, but there's also a lot of subsets of other people that do shit in the government that we work with and know about that we're not allowed to talk about and they're not allowed to talk about. I'm always so fascinated by the idea of having such a fascinating career that nobody knows about. Like, what is that like?
So I had a cover when I was there, and so that's what I went by. And I have a cousin and one of my best friends who knew about it, nobody else. Then my clearances were lifted in 2014.
That was the year you told me.
That's when I could actually share it. And you guys, we were very close. So I'm like, hey, this is actually part of my life. I can talk about it.
Explain. So the cover, is it like I work for the government? I do this other thing, or is it like I work at a Baskin Robbins? Like, is the cover?
It's a different sector of the government.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's a very specific cover.
What was it? Can you tell us?
No.
Why not?
There's just no need.
But you know what?
But I imagine there's a lot you can't share.
Well, you know what? It's also to respect. Like the guys I trained with, they're all former military, and one of the guys, he's Navy, like Navy, 10 years military experience before he joined our group, and some of these guys are like my blood now. Like they're like whatever you need to be, got you, like anywhere in the world.
So without obviously sharing anything you can't. Are there things that you know that would blow our mind that you can't tell us?
Yeah.
Prove it.
Screenshots or it didn't happen.
But it's going back to a very simple, basic level where your mind would be blown, but you'd be like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense.
Okay, it's basically that we know that aliens exist.
I was going to say, tell us about aliens.
E.T.
What can you say? Any comment?
Can you blink? Can you touch your nose? Can you scratch your balls? Any sign you can give it to us?
Let's give it a shot.
Can I offer you a vodka shot?
Oh, fuck.
Is it anything that to make you drowsy?
So that's the other thing. I have been obliterated drunk with you on many occasions prior to you telling me this.
So do I.
How do you not let that slip when you are so fucking inebriated you can't function?
Loyalty.
That's a good answer. That's a damn good answer.
Yeah.
You acquire family that's there for eternity, and you just respect it.
But you still invited us to your bedroom, and you still
That's
open...
all Art can focus on
and
is
you
the
still
bedroom
have-
No.
invite.
But you still show us. You know, it's kind of like you open the door
when
for us.
when the time was right,
Right.
you did. But I'm
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
there were 4 years prior to that you didn't.
No, for sure.
It's
And
interesting.
the rest of your life, like you weren't allowed to talk about it. Like,
I wasn't even supposed to have this piece, but like one of my chiefs was like, "Hey, I know you're leaving. I know what happened with your father. Between us, I'm going to mail you something." And it's something that we had accomplished. And I had it in my closet for a long time because I'm like, this is not even supposed to be here. But I hung that shit up because I'm like, this is a reminder for all of us
Right.
that we have a fucking story that will blow the world's mind. And we're here for a reason that's beyond our capacity. And that's a reminder of it.
Well,
So that's why I put it up, versus keeping it in the fucking closet, right?
do you want to get blown right now by the news that we have? We can tell about our 3 letters.
oh, I thought, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
You know what? Ironic. Well, you say what we allowed to say.
I love, you do this thing where you
What?
like introduce this massive
Yes.
void and then
Massive.
you pass it to me. You
I
know,
can
like,
do it myself.
please do.
Okay, then fuck off. Roger.
With love.
Because there's also certain things we can't talk about publicly either. So like,
Right,
you
but
know,
we can talk about this one, right? Because that's what the documentary was, right?
I mean, sure. We're gonna, yeah. Anyway, yeah.
All right. It's you know what? Again, back to Stella Adler. We all met in one place. You worked with the CIA.
Mhm.
We were partners with FBI for some time.
Mhm.
They came to us with some projects, with some, special line of work that we're doing.
Mhm.
And they, we didn't work for them. They didn't work for us. But
There was a professional collaboration that occurred
yeah,
that has occurred in many different ways with many different 3-letter agencies.
right.
The one he's talking about specifically was the most prominent, the most official as you can get when it's a secret.
Yeah, when your phone
But,
rings and all you see is .gov,
.gov.
gov, and you're like, all right, fuck, what did I do?
Are they on to me?
Yeah. All right, that's amazing.
Well, then you covered an entire era of things that I wanted to ask. You have a way of doing that.
There's like no way to shorten it.
I know.
had to,
Well, no,
I had to
that's
share
why
a
you
few
said
things that.
long story long.
But so